It's time. Let's get into it. Come with it. Guru.
Here we go. Here we go. Hey, what's going on? Happy Tuesday, good folks. Into another episode of the Real Talk with DaGuru. It's me, the Guru. What's going on with you? Hope you guys have a wonderful day. I just wanted to come on and give my show this week. I have a very interesting topic that I want to get into because a lot of people are struggling in this friendship area. So I want to kind of give my take, and a lot of people have asked me about some things um, that I used to be involved in several months back, or even a year or so ago. And people are inboxing me and asking me for months, what happened, what's going on. So I want to give a little insight about that, but I also want to talk about friendships in general. But we'll get into that. Before I get into anything on my anything about this show, I want to first give. I'll be remiss to give a solid condolence and a rest in heaven to one of my friends that uh, just recently passed away yesterday. As a matter of fact, from complications from COVID, and I have been following her page, and her family had been posting things and stuff like that for the past week. I think she got sick. They put her on a ventilator a couple days ago, and she was and then of course when you're on the vent, they put you in a medically induced coma, and so she did not recover, and she was a 34-year-old woman with 5 children, and so she has passed away. So I want to give a shout out to the Farron family. Resides back in my hometown, but from Green Bay, Wisconsin. I want to give a shout out to them. Praying for you guys and the family. Veronica will be missed. She was loved by many. She just recently got married, maybe a year ago, to Jacoby. Sir, we're praying for you and the girls, and all of that. So, with that being said, if you're listening to this broadcast and if you're not vaccinated, okay, I'm not going to make this show about vaccinations and not being vaccinated, because we're not going to do that. But if you aren't, think about getting a vaccine, because you never know who you're going to affect, and you never know who's going to, will be the last hello or goodbye uh, from it. This pandemic is not getting better. Well, a little bit it is. I mean, more people are getting vaccinated by the day, but um, a lot of people aren't. So if you decide that you are thinking about getting a vaccine, that is awesome. But do me one favor and do not use ivermectin. If you guys have been listening to the news, a lot of people who are now won't take the vaccine, but would take ivermectin to fix COVID. Ivermectin, if you guys don't know, you might have to Google it. But if you don't know what ivermectin is a horse dewormer, horse or animal dewormer. Who uses that? But anyways, don't do that. So I just want to give a shout out to the Farron family. We love you. We miss you, Veronica. You'll be greatly missed. All right, so let's get into the topic of the day. The topic of the day is friends. How many of us have them or not? Or not. A lot of people struggle with this friendship thing, and some people don't know how to flow in the friendship arena. So let me try to help. Okay. Um, my wife tells me all the time. She says, "Babe, you don't have many friends," and it's only because I'm not the go out type person. That's kind of how I flow. I flow. Well, thank you, Rose. That's right. And I will play the song, but because I'm doing this live video, I don't want to take any chances with, Haps and Facebook and all that. But if I was just doing this audio, then yeah. But friends, how many of us have them? Ones we can depend on, ones we can believe in, you know, or do we have backstabbers in our life? Do we have friends or do we have backstabbers? Backstabbers. Uh, but anyway, so getting to the topic, when a few years ago, I got into, uh, I found myself in a quandary of sorts. Not really a quandary, but I had a very good friendship with some friends of mine. Well, we'll get to that. Well, anyways, and I became a part of a group, and I'm not gonna throw any names or nothing like that. But those of you that follow me know exactly what I'm talking about. But um, and I became a part of a group. Uh, we were tight, so I thought, and I found out later. I'm giving you the short version. I found out later that they weren't. Well, some of them weren't as much as my friend as I thought. And so, and the reason why I'm saying this today is because there are a lot of people that are flowing in this life, and they have people in their circle who they think are their friends, but not so much. Those are the ones that's talking about you. Those are the ones that's taking information and running back to an ex or running back to, some other party or somebody you beefing with, and giving them information. Those are the people that a lot of us flow with. When back in the Tyler Perry used to be a big thing, and Tyler Perry had when he was Medea, he did a play and he was talking about in one of those plays about friends and making the analogy to trees and roots and leaves and things of that nature. And that if you have not seen it, I don't remember which play it was, but that was one of the sincerest um, depictions of a friendship that I've ever heard. Because a lot of us, hey, I'm not sure who that is. It just says Facebook, anonymous Facebook user. So hey, put your name in the chat so I know who I'm talking to. So and he was talking about, some of us have, hey, what's going on? Some of us have those leaves and then branches and all of that, and then but a few of us have those roots that we're talking about, the roots of the tree, and how those are the ones that you want to keep because those are the ones that's going to stand by you when it gets bad, when it gets crazy, when you get, in your feelings. If you're dealing with mental health, hey, what's going on? If you're dealing with mental health, if you, so I'm on HAP. So if you're commenting on Facebook, I can't see you. So what I need is for you to put your first name in the comments. So I know exactly who I'm talking to. So yeah, and we struggle in that arena. And hey, Double D, what's going on with you? You need to get rid of that hat. Absolutely not, because I said knuckle. Because it's Knucklehead Chronicles. I'm not going to get rid of my hat. Get out of here. I don't know who said that. But anywho, um, we struggle in the arena. Hey, Coach Vet, we struggle in the arena of hey, Tasha, what's going on? With friendships. And sometimes we don't know when to cut friendships off. They need to be cut off because we hold on to things that because it's normal, or we hold on to people because we know them, because we kind of we get to a place where we're lazy and we don't want to have to go and learn other people. I for one am that guy. Hey, I am that guy that I really don't want to deal with people like that, because that's why I hate changing jobs. That's why I hate doing other things. That's why I hate moving, because I have to now put forth effort to meet other people, you know but I'm learning how I have to not be that way, because when you are rolling with people that you have rolled with for years, and your friends don't tell you how jacked up you are, your friends don't tell you that that green suit don't go with them yellow shoes, they don't tell you that, them ain't your friends. Those are situationships. You need to get out of that. And so I struggle. But back to my story. So I rode with this group for golly, a couple of years, and um, situations happen. Other parties got involved. Just as you saying, stay right to stay toxic in a relation, in a friendship. For what? And so I wrote them, and then other parties got involved, and somehow it went left, right? So in order for me to keep my sanity and to remove the toxicity out of the situation, I decided to walk away. Um, so a lot of people, even the one of the people that were involved, was like, "What happened? Why'd you leave?" You know, and the reason why I couldn't tell him the real reason why was because the real reason why was because of the other party. Not fun at all. You're right about that. And and it's like it hurt me because he was my guy. You know what I'm saying? He was my guy. And to have to walk away from that toxicity because it was bad for my mental health. And that's the point that we all have to get to. We have to get to the point where if it starts to dangle with your mental health, you need to let them people go. I don't care how much. I don't care how long you been. I don't care how long you've known them. I don't care how long you've been a part of their life. I don't care if your uncle Nick, and Nuck, if your auntie this and auntie that. It does not matter. If that person is toxic to you, you're gonna have to let them go. Why? Because there's a few reasons why. One, it's not good for your mental health. Two, those people probably can't go where you're going. If someone is saying that they're your friend, see friendships, man, the word friend sometimes it's not just a word. It's a word, but it's not just something or a title you give someone. Friend or being friendly is action. If I am your friend and you come to me and you say, Terry, I need for you to give me your advice. One thing I'm not going to do, anybody that know me, I'm gonna give it to you straight. And it's not just like I want somebody to give it to me straight. Let me tell you somebody in my life that gives it to me straight every chance she gets. And that's my wife. Every chance she gets, she gonna give it to me raw. I ain't gonna like it. 99.9756% of the time, I'm not gonna like it. But it's the truth. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's right. Unconditional. You should be able, if you're friends, you should be able to go to that person and say, hey man, or hey hun, listen, I got an issue. This is where I stand with this. I need to know where you are. I need for you to tell me what's going on. Um, and so for me in my situation, I walked away from it. And a lot of people didn't understand why I walked away from it. I didn't want to really get into it with everybody, the story, because hey, it's not a lot of people's business. You feel me? But um, I have a few close friends that I can truly say are my friends, and they know who they are. I can inbox them. I can say, hey, this is what's going on with me, and they will be like, okay, this is what's up. This is what you did. This is why you suck. This is why you're in a situation. You did this, and those are my friends. Those are the ones I know that I can count on. Your real friends in your life, you can count. You should be able to only count on one hand. Your true friends. You know what I'm saying? If you are a person that can say you have more than 10 show enough true friends, let me know. If you have more than 5 friends, if you're listening to this, people who are not watching live on the video feed, you can't see it. But if you are watching me right now on whatever platform you're watching me on, if you have more than 5 true friends, put a one in the chat for me. I just want to see. If you have more than five, if you have more than five, put a one in the chat for me. Because, real friends will tell you the truth no matter how much it hurts or bruises your fragile ego. See, a lot of times with men, I know for men, it's hard. And so it was a bunch of men. Hey Richard, what's up? What's up, Edic? Um, we have as men, we struggle because we have egos and we have pride and we don't want to flow with other dudes like that because as soon as we get to the point of we're flowing with other dudes, then jealousy gets involved at some point. And then you look, then the friendship that you thought you had goes out the window. And that's what happened with the situation that I was in was that we were flowing, 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 and then other parties got involved. And then it was like, okay, well, I can't go to um, him and say this because it's going to bruise his ego, first of all, you know what I'm saying? And then it's going to deal with the other party. And as men, we can't handle that. You know, it's just like Jack Nicholson told my man in the movie a few years ago, and he said, "You want the truth? You can't handle the truth. Men, we cannot handle the truth, and that's bad." And so when I ask men if we have issues with keeping friends, they'll tell you, "Well, yeah, I ain't got no friends like that. I don't flow." I'm looking at my chat here. E said he had more than five. Richard said he had more than five. A couple of anonymous Facebook users said they had more than five, and that's great that you can really count on when the chips are down. If you have somebody in your circle that you can go to when the chips are down, and but then even in that, even when you have the people that are with you when the chips are down, you still have to be like, okay, you always have to keep your head on a swivel because people aren't perfect, right? People will swap the game and change the rules in the middle of the game because they get their ego bruised or they felt like you handled them wrong or, uh, or whatever. And men, we just can't handle somebody coming up to us and saying, you're wrong. We struggle with you're wrong. Or we struggle with, you're not this. This is what you're doing. You know, and if my wife is watching, she'll be the first one to tell you. She's come to me many times. You're wrong. This is how I feel, and I can't. Sometimes I can't, and we struggle. So how do we fix it though? How do we fix it though? What's up? I don't know who that is. Whoever put in bro, put your name in the comments. If you struggle in that arena, this is how we fix it. You fix it by simply fixing you. Because the struggle isn't with them, it's with you. And that's what I had to realize. And it took me a while to figure it out. That, hey, Pastor Brown, what's up? I ain't seen you in forever. What's up? But it starts with you individually. Because I struggled in so many areas, so many times with so many different people because I didn't handle me. I walked away from friendships because I wasn't prepared or I wasn't handling my business right. Me. And so a lot of men won't admit the fact that they were wrong. We won't. Because why? It's easier to walk away from it and just say, I don't care or quit than to face it and say, okay, this is what's up. This is how I feel. This is what happened. But instead of doing that, we'll walk away and be like, you know what? I can't. I just rather not. You know what I'm saying? And that's what happened with me. It is that I did not want to face it because it was a hard truth about me that I had to face. And I lost a good friend behind it. Me. You know what I'm saying? And to sit here, I don't know why it has me anonymous. I don't know who's that. Richard says some men have bigger egos and some men can handle the truth. I prefer the truth. Some men have the balance between masculine and feminine side, right? Emotional intelligence. You know, Richard, that's partly true to agree. But we do have bigger egos, and some men can handle the truth, but not a lot of us. I love. You're looking at when you talk about ego. What's up, Quinn? When you think about egos and such, yes, the biggest majority of men have the biggest ego. Man, whatever. You know how many times I've said whatever to something and not mean it. You know what I'm saying? But never say it to the other person that I didn't mean it. Just say whatever, whatever, man. Whatever you feel, done, gone. I'm done with it. Spit the truth, even if it hurt. And but I struggle, and most men do. We struggle because it's like I said before, it's just easier to walk away from it and just say, I'm done. But sometimes the shedding of friendships or the shedding of situationships is necessary for your growth. I get that. But you have to decipher, what's important, what's stunting your growth, what's not. If you walk away from a friendship that could have been fixed by you just saying, "Hey, this is how I feel," because if they were really your friend, then they would be okay. This is what we'll do, or they'll come to some kind of compromise or some kind of resolution, right? We walk away from situations that could have been fixed, and then you look back 2 or 3 years later, going, "But what happened? Why me and old boy stopped talking? Or why me and old girl stopped talking?" Because your ego got in the way and wouldn't let you do it. Guilty. That's me. Richard said, half of those friends have been friends for over 35 years, have been there, good or bad, especially in my darkest days. And those are the friends you hang on to. If they've been there for you, if you got a friend, let me tell you something. You know what? You know how you can tell you have a really good friend is that you getting ready to move and you call them up and say, "Hey, I need your help moving." If they drop what they're doing and come and see about you, they real friends. Because don't call me though. No, I'm kidding. You can call me. You can call me. You can call me. Some things weren't meant to be fixed. Make sure you pray about it before you do it. Never out of emotion. Exactly. I know that's Pastor Brian right there all day. But that's exactly right. Some things can be fixed, but definitely pray about it. You know, that's why my circle is small. My friends know me and know how I can be now. Women are a different story. Quinn, I tell you what, man. But yeah, having and speaking of Pastor Brian's comment there, as far as praying about it before you do it, it was proven in our last one. Okay, I'm not sure. I hate that I can't see your name. I'm thinking that's Pastor Brian. I don't know, but we've all done that as long as we learn as we go and reflect to grow. Exactly. Everything that happens in life, of course, you guys know that it's a lesson. Uh, there's a there's a purpose for everything that happens in our life. Friendships, bad ones, marriages, bad ones, whatever. There's a purpose in it. But sometimes, and I guess what I'm speaking on is the fact that we don't recognize that it's a lesson, and we don't recognize the fact that we have to fix that lesson. We have to learn from that lesson. I am 46 years old. I'm gonna tell you my age because I don't care. There are some things that I still struggle with. And that's just being 100% honest in this broadcast today. I struggle with. I struggle with somebody telling me the truth. I don't want to hear that. You know what I'm saying? Some don't and just don't, and just continue blaming everything outside of themselves. Exactly what I'm saying. That's me. I'm mad. Me, right there. That last comment. Some don't, and just continue blaming everything outside of themselves. I am not old as 30. Just a little bit older than 46. But anyway, I try to. I try to. Um, but okay, and so let me give you guys I hope Pastor Brian's still here. Let me give you a example of what I'm talking about. True friendship, right? When the situation happened a while back, out of my emotion, I removed everybody that was in that circle. Okay, I'm glad you're here. I removed everybody. I removed everybody from that circle because I was just being emotional, if I can be honest. And what happened was, one of them, being Pastor Brian, inboxed me. This is what he said. He said, "Terry," he said, "No, Pastor Brian's always been one of those guys. He's like, I don't know what happened here, but this is what happened." And so he inboxed me. He says, "Terry," he says, "somehow, me and you got disconnected." Just really nonchalant about it. Just, yeah. Somehow, me and you got disconnected. I wonder how that happened. You still follow, you and my wife still friends. You and my daughter still friends. But somehow, me and you got disconnected. And so I remember calling them one day. I was at work, and I remember calling him. And he was like, "Well, I don't know what happened. Not my business. But don't have anything to do with me and you." I was like, "You know what? You're absolutely correct." And he said, "I was going to send you another friend request." And I was like, "Nope." He was like, "Nope, I'm not sending him nothing. He going to fix it." See? Accountability. What I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about. When you got people that'll hold your feet to the fire and keep you accountable, Those are your real friends. It's I swear to. When emotions, but Richard said, when emotions go large, intelligence goes down. That's absolutely true. And I love Pastor Brian. This is Coach Vet. Pastor Brian says she love you, man. But he was like, and he meant it. And those are the kind of friends you need in your life. He meant every syllable of what he said. He ain't trying to take nothing back. He ain't laugh about it. None of that. He was just like, fix it. And drop the call. And we ended the conversation. And guess what I did? We're back on Facebook and we added it back on Facebook. But what I'm saying is this: is that those type of people you need. Those are the type of people that keep your energy where it needs to be. Now, I don't have many friends like that, but I can say in this live broadcast, this live radio show that's streaming right now on WLEO. Thank you, that Edigga. Pastor Brian McCrory out of the GA. Thank you, Beth, for subscribing. I appreciate you. He is, I can consider him as a true friend. Coach Vet is a true friend. V Ben, I got so many, I could name them all, but I'm not. There's a few, but I'm not gonna name them all. But here is what I want everybody to do in this chat, though, is watching and listening. I need for you to examine your circle. Excuse me. I need for you to examine your circle, because where society sits, where life sits right now, we don't have time for people who are not about us or about business or about. I mean, if you got somebody who is a negative Nancy or always bringing drama in your life, guess what you need to do? It is time for you to cut them loose. Now, if you need or figure out a way to cut them loose, I know one person that you can call right now, inbox right now, and he's going to give you one sentence and he's going to straighten you right on out, and you can cut them folks off with no problems. He charged for that fee though, but I don't know if he charges. But Pastor Brian, I'm going to tell you something. He going to give you the real, straight, short, to the point. He ain't playing no games with you. That's kind of what he is. If you are struggling and you don't know how to cut people off, hit up Pastor Brian McCrory. He'll tell you exactly how to do it. He'll tell you exactly how to do it. One thing that I realized though is that a true friends are a joy to have, because life is hard. Life is hard without them. And I tell you, there are days where I still struggle because I don't have that connection outside of my family. I don't have that connection anymore. So it's like, okay, who can I call? Who can I, say, this is what I'm going through. This is what I'm struggling with. Who? But the ones that I call, I can't call them all the time and keep burdening them with my stuff. But that's the whole point of being friends. You're supposed to be. It's just like Kevin Hart. A couple of years ago, I had a stand-up comedy. He said, "Hey, man, you're my friend." He said, "Your nonsense is my nonsense." I'm not going to cuss, but he said, "Your nonsense is my nonsense. And my nonsense is your nonsense." It is. And Quinn, you know what, Quinn? I'm glad you brought it up. Let me put this up here. I guess I can put it up here. And Quinn said, I'll put it down. Hold on. Okay. It's taking forever. But he said in his comment, it's bad when you got to cut family off. It is bad. But I heard, someone say that kinfolk, always don't have your best interests at heart. Now, there are kinfolk that I have in my life, and I love all my kinfolk, every last one of them that may watch this. But the thing of it is, none of my kinfolk watch nothing that I do. Like nothing. That I can share my podcast. I can share the episode to them that they ain't gonna watch it. But that's okay. You know what I'm saying? But they're not toxic and telling me how crazy I am for doing it. But when it comes to family, though, those are the ones those are the cuts that cut the deepest, because they're your blood, and you figure that you don't have to do that. That's my family. You're gonna support me. You're gonna do this. You're not gonna be crazy toward me. You're gonna do that. But when you have to cut them off, it's just as imperative and important to cut them off as it would be to cut off a perfect stranger. It would be. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to continue my conversation. I'm going to take a break here. I'll be right back.
WLEO 26.7 online radio.
Let's go!
Hottest in today's newest hip hop and R&B.
All right, and we're back. And so I'm reading. Hey, Siobhan, what's going on with you? Richard said I've cut off, unfollowed, unfriended, and blocked people to protect my energy and heart and stop me from being triggered. See, right there, that particular comment is powerful simply because we have energy that we let people affect because we don't know how to cut them off. Now, simply blocking somebody on Facebook will do the trick, right? In some cases, if they are a social media friend. But if there's somebody that you roll with, they got your phone number, they got, you see them on a daily basis or a weekly basis or whatever, it's a little bit harder to cut those folks off, but it still has to be done. Siobhan says, I've cut off family when they become toxic. It's freeing. Please understand that cutting off people in general is freeing, but family for real though, it makes it a little awkward at the family reunion, but it's still just as freeing and it's liberating. And a lot of times it is necessary for us to move forward in our lives. We're holding on to this toxic person who don't have a care, and it's beyond nuts that we continue to hold on to them. Like, why? What's the purpose? And I had to ask myself the same question. So I'm not just sitting here talking to be talking. I had to do this for me. I had to go, but why am I holding on to them again? What are they bringing to this friendship? And I had people in my life that I ran with who brung substance, and they brung prayers, and they brung all these things to my life, and I walked away because of emotion. I would give my left two toes if I to get that back. But sometimes you cross the bridge and you can't come back over. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those things. But when you're cutting off friends, and when you're doing these things, you have to do it like Pastor Brian said earlier in the chat, is that you don't do it out of emotion. Don't do what I did. Because it serves no purpose for you to move out of your emotion. Because why? Once you get out of your emotion, then what you got? Once you move out of your emotion, then what you got? Think about it for a minute. How many times that's watching this on Facebook and live, if you move out of your emotion, it's just like being high or drunk. While you're high or drunk, you're in this fog, you're in this space, you're someplace else, right? Mentally. That's what emotion does, because emotion is mental. So you're in this fog, you're in this mix. And once you come down from your high, or once you sober up the next morning, you may be hungover. But what are you left with? You're left with the carnage of what you did while you was in your fog. Right? So having those friends and that's not being in emotion, that's the struggle, because we walk away and do things, and then now we're sober. Now we're sober and we're going like, where is my people? You burnt the bridge. While you were sitting there in your funk, in your emotion, you burnt the bridge, and now you can't go back. Then what? So don't do anything out of emotion. If you decide to cut off somebody to preserve your mental health, don't do it out of emotion. You make sure that you are in a good place, and you can, it's like, when you was in school and you did math homework, and the teacher said, show your work, right? Same thing here. When you get ready to cut somebody off, show your work. I mean, don't just cut them off, especially because if you cut them off without saying anything or doing anything, that's on your work. You're doing that out of emotion, and that's not right, not fair to you or them. And that's the lesson that I had to learn. I walked around pissed off for months.
Unknown caller.
for months because I moved out of emotion and I came out of my funk and was like, oh man, now I tell you, Siobhan said, I can understand this. Richard says, emotional mastery is hard to master. I'd rather have true friends and happy than a ton of friends and be miserable. Exactly. What's the point of having a whole bunch of friends? What's the point of it? Because, I mean, especially friends or acquaintances. See, Pastor Brian used to have, he says this all the time when we would do shows, and the difference between a friendship, comrade, associate, and all that. And I didn't think about, I mean, as many times as I heard him say it, I didn't think about it until like after, everything had happened. And I'm like, man, I really screwed the pooch out of emotion. I screwed the pooch, lost probably one of the dopest friends I've had because out of emotion. So don't do that. Javon said, I only cut people off when I see it affecting my spirit and tricking off on my kids. I see it now. Oh, trickling. Okay. I totally read that wrong. Forgive me. Forgive me, Javon. I totally read that wrong. Oh, man. I said tricking off. Okay. I'm sorry. Anyways. That is sad. I shouldn't have said that. But thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you for forgiving me because I screwed the pooch on that one too. But when I titled this show "Friends," how many of us have them, right? Because there are, and it's a real question. How many of us do really have friends? We need to check our circles because our energy is important. Our peace is important. Don't have anybody checking off on your kids. Okay, I'm sorry. But it's important. If you have somebody in your circle, and if you say something to them and they get all upset with you, guess what? They can't. They're not for you. Because I should be able to, constructive criticism from somebody that you consider a friend is truly a good thing. I got a handful of friends and a lot of acquaintances. There you go. That's exactly what I was talking about earlier. Make sure you know. Exactly. Make sure you know who your circle is because hey, sometimes, I think it's a saying out there. If you want to find out how many snakes you got in your circle, cut your grass. Saying cut your grass, meaning, take the people, try to start trimming the fat, doing Facebook because like my Facebook page, I have over 3,000 friends. 20 of those people, I talk to 20, out of the 3,000 people that I have on my page, 20 of them I talk to, maybe, you know what I'm saying? And help fix your own crown. Exactly. We do the most, man. We're trying to figure out life, and you got people who trying to destroy it, or trying to throw a monkey wrench in it, or who's bringing drama. How many of us that are listening to this, you got friends that you just automatically know that if you say something to them, it's drama. It's drama. It's petty. It's everything. Who needs that? We got life's hard enough. We got enough stuff going on. We got people already trying to do us dirty, to do us under, and we have people in our own circle who we roll with that is bringing us down or talking about you or doing whatever, right? I think about my wife. My wife is probably listening. I'm not sure if she is or not, but she has a handful of friends too. And when I tell you that these young, when I tell you that these young ladies that she roll with, like for real, they're my people. You know what I'm saying? They're my people. Good, bad. And we've gone through, hey, Deborah, hey, thank you for subscribing. There are a lot of things that have happened and we've been in kind of in that purgatory type of space, right? But these 3 or 4 women that she's had in her life, I'm gonna tell you something, 10 toes down. And that's what we need. We need people that are 10 toes down. If you don't have anybody in your circle that's not 10 toes down for you, guess what? Take 10 of your toes and get to stepping, because you don't need that in your life. You don't need that. And sometimes my wife, she talks to her people and her friends and stuff, and I'll be listening to them. I'll be jealous, and I know that's bad English, so I say I be, but I literally be jealous, going, why can't I have friends like that? But then it hits me. You did, dummy. You walked away from them because you were emotional. You're either gonna get right or go left. Or get left. Exactly. And I watch her flow with her friends. And when I tell you 10 toes down. And some of us perish because we don't have those people, or we got somebody who's got 2 toes down and the rest of them run to the other person to tell you business. You know what I'm saying? Thank you. You do still have me. I know. You know what I'm saying? And so, in this episode, I just wanted to ask that question on the Real Talk today. Thank you guys and everybody who listened and commented. I appreciate you. And the 218 thumbs ups that I got on Facebook, I appreciate you for real. It is imperative that in our lives right now, where our life sits, you have to now do an examination of the people in your circle. People in your life, are they for you or against you? Can you count on them? If you needed $20 for gas, who could you call? You know what I'm saying? Without. Let me rephrase that. You call somebody up again, and somebody who will say, "Boom, take that," and don't ask for it back. Them people, okay? Them people like Pastor Brian, who 2 years ago, and I'll tell you this story. I don't know if he's still here, but I'll tell you the story. 2 years ago, I wanted to go home to see my daughter in her first play. I didn't have the funds. I just didn't. I was working, but still, family, and just didn't have the funds to go. The extra funds to go. Pastor Brian said, "Look here, take these airline miles, go home and see your daughter." When you have friends like that, them the ones you keep. You know what I'm saying? 10 toes down, no matter what. And Pastor Brian has never sent me an invoice and said, "I want my money back." He might have one. He might have one in the mail. I don't know how. But that's what I'm saying. But I want to publicly say this. I want to. I'm sure that the person that I want to get to this probably will never see this. But it's. I just want to say. I want to publicly say, I, Terry, the Guru, apologize for walking away and not giving you the benefit of an explanation. Okay. I want to say that just publicly. You know what I'm saying? It may fall upon deaf ears, and that's okay. But I want people to get 2 things out of this. 1 is that examine your circle. 2, to be able to own the mistakes, to own the fact that you walked away out of error. To own the fact that even though you made that mistake, you can always fix it within yourself. Even if you changing it, or even if you saying it to them doesn't do them any good because they don't care anymore, that's fine. The blood's off your hands. You have to do it for your mental health. Fix it. Those are the words I'm gonna leave you guys with. Fix it. Okay. If you have people in your circle that you've been thinking about, I might want to cut them off. I think I'm gonna cut them off because they're not doing me no. If you gotta think about it, cut them off. There's nothing to think about. If you gotta think about cutting somebody off, cut them off. If somebody in your circle is giving you pause, cut them off. Your energy, man, we got too much stuff going on. We're in the middle of a little pandemic. We got enough stuff happening. People fighting about the vaccine or not take the vaccine. We got dumb stuff happening. People doing milk crate challenges. We got enough stuff in this world. I pray I can make it to the next day with all this stuff going on. I'm telling you, I don't have time for somebody in my life who is toxic, who don't care about me, who don't support me. But keep in mind too that when you want somebody to support you, you got to support them too. That's how it's a two-way street. Everyone's in their own. So we got enough. We have enough. It is now time to kind of, okay, I'm sick of this. I'm sick of this. Waking up, not sure, not having anybody to call. I'm sick of this, man. Let's do something else. I'll also say this before I go. If there are people in your circle that you have walked away from, that you can possibly mend it. Because if God has allowed these people to cross your path and then he bring them back, those are the people you need in your life. It's just like when your mama told you when you were small about love. If you love them, let them go. If they come back to you, it was meant to be. And if you're going to be a friend, be a friend. Help fix that crown, encourage and support them. Exactly. I love supporting others. I know you do, Richard. You here supporting me and everything. I appreciate you, brother. But that last comment, if you're going to be a friend, be one. Help fix that crown, encourage and support. Let me tell you something about my friendship with Mr. Ernest Harris. I don't know if he's still here or not. I don't know if you listen to it on the app or not. But that dude right there, is perfect strangers. When I tell you I don't know Ernest, when I tell you I didn't know Ernest from the day we got together, I did not know him. We did a podcast called Brunching with Lee Sweeney and Ashley, the cannabis nurse. Didn't know Ernest. But me and Ernest have become friends. I'm going to tell you something about him. Sight unseen. I've never seen this man in person ever. That's going to change after a while. But never seen this man not once ever. But when I tell you I support everything he do, share everything he do, the same way he'll do me. Friendships. If you're going to be a friend, be one. Don't just talk about it, be about it. You know what I'm saying? But today, as I leave, examine your circle. Men broken fences or bridges. If you can fix them, fix them. If you can't, oh well. Protect your energy. Release toxicity. You know what I'm saying? Do that. All right. Well, I'm going to get out of here. So I want to give a shout out to E Digger, WLEO. If you guys have not downloaded the app, the WLEO app, then we do have an app, not just a website. Go and listen to all the past shows, watch the videos. Knucklehead Chronicles will go live on Sunday. My boys and I will go live on Sunday. I want to thank everyone who had came in, put up a comment, we threw up a heart, a thumbs up. I thank you for that. I really appreciate you. If you do not have a HAPS TV account, please do. So that way, when I go live on HAPS again, you make a comment, I can read your name. All right. All right. So I'm going to get out of here. You guys have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you next week, I guess.
Thanks for listening to Real Talk with DaGuru. Visit KnuckleheadChroniclespodcast.com and catch all the episodes from the podcast and radio show. Remember, we love you.